Hello Internet, it's time for Wednesday's Serial, and I thought I'd do a DC wrap-up to just kind of talk about the books from DC I decided to go with, and a little bit more. Okay, first up, against what I kind of thought, I'm going to be picking up Batman Adjectiveless. It is so well written, it's kind of cool to see Scott Snyder doing something different with the character versus his previous run, and as much as I'm not a Batman fan, really, I have another friend who's really into this book, and it just seems like it's so good, it'd be hard to put away, and why not? It seems like it'd be worth getting. And for now, I'll be reading it, but as soon as some talent changes up or something, it's gonna take a lot to keep me on the book. So as long as it's great, I'll keep reading it. Then there's Batwoman, which is just incredible. I waited for it for so long, and now that it's out, every issue's been the best every week from DC that it's out, and there's really no two ways around it. This is a great book, and everyone should be picking it up. So, nothing else to say there. Much to my shock, I'm going to be getting Animal Man, and that's only because it seems to be one of those books that a lot of people are liking that I wasn't. By the third issue, I just kind of saw what I think other people are seeing. Maybe it took me longer to come around, or maybe it just took something a little more to really see that it was going to be that good continuing. And just the way that the story's going, that he is a family man, that it's something different and interesting, I'm just on board and can't wait to see where it goes next. Much of what I said about Animal Man I'll save for Captain Atom, but I'm really digging the way the art's done there. Not that it's not anything too groundbreaking or anything, but it's done well. And the story seems like it could go in so many directions, and I find the concept of how they're handling the character now so exciting that I just want to keep reading it. And it's one that, if that's handled well, I can see that being passed off to another creative staff well, or just a change up with someone along the lines. So, hey, Captain Atom's really good. Who would have seen that coming? Okay. And the next two are a bit fanboy, but I thought I'd explain it a bit more. I'm going to be picking up Green Lantern New Guardians and Green Lantern Corps. I will not be getting Green Lantern regular. Don't really care what Jeff Johns is doing with Hal Jordan right now. It just feels like it's badly written, even if it's to the character. The character's being stupid. Forget that book. But Green Lantern Corps I'm interested in, if nothing else, because it's the most sci-fi book that they have going right now in a lot of ways, and it's really interesting. It's a bit bloodier and a bit whatever, but it is continuing basically with the Corps, and I'm really interested to see it. Plus, every now and again, you get this really cool alien or this really cool sci-fi tidbit, and I just love that. It's probably the most sci-fi book from Marvel or DC right now, and for that alone I'll probably be getting it because, hey, I like some of that. New Guardians, however, the talent on it alone is going to dictate that I'm going to be reading it for a while, plus Kyle Rayner's been such an interesting character so long as he's written in a certain light, and I just can't say no. I'm not saying it's a great comic, I'm just saying it plays to stuff that I happen to like, so there you go. Now, I'll be honest, I'd be getting every $3.99 comic from DC if it was $2.99. Justice League and Action are good, but they're not good enough to justify that extra dollar. I don't care what anyone else says, it's not living up to Amazing Spider-Man or Uncanny X-Force standards for me. It's not there. All-Star Western, I understand it's $3.99, same with Men of War because of the backup. Both of those cases, I think the comic's really good for the main story, but the backups are not worth anything. And if they just ditched those and went with the main stories, be awesome. So, yeah. And then also, along that line, I'm getting the Avenging Spider-Man against my point. And Zeb Wells is writing, but his writing is okay. But the whole reason I'm willing to do that is Joe Madureira on art. I can't say no, and if you have something against Joe Madureira as an artist, you're wrong. It's just, I'm buying that comic for the art, and it's rare that I say it, and honestly, the minute he's off that book, so am I, and if it starts slipping a little away, it's really not worth it. But them giving you a digital copy with it helps balance a little, I guess. I don't really care, but I'm actually going to go through and read it digitally and maybe talk about that a little to kind of say what's different about that. So yeah, after all that time and going through all the 52, admittedly not all 3 issues of everything, but I thought I'd tell you guys after that whole experience where I'm at. And honestly, 52 comics that I read and tried to only be down to 6, and some sparingly, honestly. Like, I pushed to be picking up 6 just to kind of stay in the loop, and because I like getting some comics every week, but really it's weak, and I really feel this is going to balance out once DC kind of drops some things, because honestly sales for some of these books will not be there, and I'm hoping the people who figure out that a certain amount of the initial 3 issues, or especially the first issue sales, were higher than they should be simply because of all the promotions and all the hype just around it being one of the 52. But as a comic on its own, like say, I don't know, Hawk and Dove, no one cares. Or someone cares, I'm sure, but not enough people to really support it when there's other things and other properties that they should be playing with. And so, I'd be interested to hear if you were trying a chunk of any of the DC, which ones you dropped, which ones you kept, for what reasons. And if you think I'm stupid for any of the ones I'm not picking up or whatever, certainly let me know. I might be willing to go back and reread the first 3 issues, give it another shot, but I'm pretty well set in right now. So yeah, that's all. I'll hit you soon with another comic review. Peace.